Hello, and you're listening to You Must Be Joking podcast. I'm Player 2.
I'm Player 1.
I'm Player 3.
And this is the podcast where we say anything and everything.
Everything. Yeah,
God's sake!
Ruined that already, Player 2.
Dear.
You tool.
That's very hurtful.
I'll tell you something interesting I've seen on the news.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Is those poor kids stuck in that cave in Thailand?
God. Yeah,
Oh, the one that flooded.
Yeah. They reckon they're going to be in there for 4 months. Can you imagine being in a cave for 4 months? That's horrid.
Aye.
And one of the divers has died.
Well, I did see that. That's a bit sad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the Navy he was.
Yeah. Lost.
So he's a fully trained diver.
Problem is, though, like, they're fully trained divers for the sea,
Yeah.
not for diving in a cave.
These are very confined spaces.
Yeah, and it's like muddy water, so you can't see anything.
I saw the biggest, or the smallest, diameter bit was 70 centimetres. And you had to do it without a tank, like for that, so you put the tank through. I think this was in the dry, though.
Yeah.
The smallest when underwater is 1 metre across.
So
Can you
breathe
imagine that
in.
in full gear.
That's horrid.
And carrying maybe supplies with you as well.
Oh, I mean, I've always hated caving, but the thought of this, don't think I'll go caving again. It's horrible.
Well,
God.
Did they walk to? I think it's 2.5 miles. They walked in, or
4 kilometres, I believe. It's 4 kilometres, so it works out about that.
that's the distance from the entrance, right?
Yeah, from the entrance to where they found them, because they're
So
currently.
they walked that far.
I think currently they're sat on like a rock shelf.
Apparently it takes from the entrance. It takes 6 hours to get to them.
That's insane.
They're really far in.
Yeah, because they're going against the current. But it's not like the whole thing's underwater. It's like
Pockets.
It kind of rises and falls. Yeah, there's pockets of water. But it's just horrible. So going there and back takes 11 hours because when you're going back, you're going downhill, so it's with the current. But that's still
I'm guessing that's why they don't want to take any risks, because...
Well, the kids can't swim.
Trying to get them out is not going to be worth it. They might as well wait for it to dry up and then take them out that way.
4 months it's going to take. And actually, they're still not over the rainy season, so it could get worse. Like, it could fill up more.
Oh dear.
Can't they send a pumping equipment in and try and drain it that way?
They have, they are. But
It's a constant battle.
do you know how much water they can pump out? How much water can go in? It's just
It's a losing battle.
nothing.
It's a losing battle.
Yeah, like if it's raining, that pump's going to do nothing.
I guess something interesting I was reading was Elon Musk proposed a solution. Don't know if you guys saw
drill a
that.
hole.
Oh, God's sake. Elon Musk, I do not have the time of day for him. He's just trying to do his big ideas, but...
Well, he wanted to either drill a hole or put a nylon pipe in that whole way and make it airtight. So they just crawl through for 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
Or in stages,
that would be great.
I guess.
But I don't think that would work, though, would it?
I think it's an option, but I feel like it might be just...
It won't work.
Yeah.
It'll break.
Like...
And then you'll have loads of kids stuck in a pipe.
Well, what if there's a breach? They're all dead.
You must be joking.
Exactly, yeah, it will breach, because they've never done this before.
Any breach, they're all gone.
I mean, I think, like, just drill a hole.
What, straight down?
There's so many problems with that. You're going to, like, cause internal collapse,
that's the issue. Like,
water flooding in,
you have
death, decay, destruction.
You have to be wary of, like, the structure that it's in right now.
What if the only escape gets, like, caved in?
That's the thing, yeah.
And they can't get more supplies in?
Kaput.
It's a tomb.
The moral of the story is don't go caving. Avoid a cave. Don't go that far into a cave, there's no point.
The worst thing that was their treat, wasn't it? After their game or something, after their big game.
I think a better treat's than being crawling through a cave. I wouldn't say crawling through a cave is enjoyable. Would you?
No.
No.
Oof. Horrible.
I'm just having a look at the diagram right now, and yeah, it's way very far down. And they're in a tiny pipe surrounded by water. But I'm impressed they managed to survive 10 days without anybody finding them.
Yeah.
No one knew they were there for 10 days.
Well,
No.
they sent people in to look for them, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it took a few days for them to realise they were missing, and then it took a few days for them to find them. Because obviously, I think when they knew they were in there, but they couldn't. When they sent divers in, obviously divers are deep sea divers, not cave divers, so they struggled. So they had to call in British cave divers to help them out. And it was a British cave diver who found them. Can't remember the gentleman's name, but good fellow.
Just looking at the other diagram, basically the thing they have to drill above is about a kilometre high, so they'd have to go down a kilometre of drilling. But by looking at the structure, it looks like it wouldn't be able to take it. Like as soon as you drill in without supports, like they'd have to do work under there as well as above it to make sure it works, to make sure it's all okay.
I mean, these kids are as good as fucked, aren't they?
I think
it seems like it.
It just reminds me of the Chilean miners.
Hmm.
You know, that back a few years back, where
How long were they in there? They were there for like a month, weren't they?
A long time.
They made a lift in, didn't they?
Chilean miners. How long were they anyway? How long were they there?
69 days.
69 days, yeah.
Wow.
What's that? That's a little over 2 months.
Yeah, but these kids are going to be there for 4 months.
Plus,
Rising
the children.
water.
Yeah, the point is that they are children.
And the rise of water.
It really
Horrific.
does. It does depend on how much rainfall.
Well, it's going to get worse, isn't it, the rainfall?
That's what I'm terrified about that. Gosh, even just hearing about it.
Well, they've got an air supply right now, haven't they? They put one in for them, which is that's the best they could do at the moment.
You know, if it
supplies
starts
some food down for them.
If it starts becoming like the Titanic, and you're like trapped.
I mean, we don't know how big the slope is they're actually sat on, so they'll probably really cramped together as well.
Mm.
No, there's a film of them.
Is there?
Is there?
I think. Yeah, there's film of them. I don't think they're really cramped.
Well, they got to hopefully not get muscle atrophy either. Muscular atrophy.
Well, they've lost loads of weight and stuff.
Already.
Well, as you would. As you would, of course.
Can you imagine being in a cave for 10 days? Because you'll have no lights, you have no idea how time's gone.
It would,
Whole thing's horrible.
yeah, it would be a bit. Ugh. I just couldn't imagine being there, to be honest. I don't wish it on anybody. It's just the way it's just how it's happened.
Imagine if you were trapped with someone you didn't like as well.
Can you imagine if they keep farting?
Oh,
That'd be
Someone
definitely
takes someone has a shit and it's absolutely steaming.
that's a good point.
Absolutely steaming, and
On a serious note, what can they do about that?
wow, hold it in, lads. Oh yeah, that's a ball, man. Awful.
Where are they supposed to put
Even
it?
if they poo in the water, these divers are going to be jousting with these floaters on. No. Can you imagine that? They're in there in this water. Some lads are like, "Oh, I need the shits," and they go, "I'll be alright. Just shit in the water. Shit in the water," and it's a floater. And they're just and now it's 11 boys. 12 boys. Their coach and the floating turd trapped for 10 days.
Already, yeah.
Horrific.
So you go through like a 6-hour journey to meet that.
Oh yeah, some fucking prestiged Navy diver fighting his way up it through these crevices and
Ooh.
horrible places, and then he headbutts a turd.
I hope they don't use snorkels.
Oh! Anyway,
I'm sure you'll like this one. Player one. Penalty.
What?
The word is penalty.
Penalty. Well, speaking of penalties, this World Cup has had an outrageous number of penalties. Let me get some stuff. Penalties at World Cup.
Oh yeah, penalties awarded.
Haven't like over half the England's goals happened because of penalties.
For England?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, just in the actual game, the amount of penalties awarded, there have been so many, many more awarded in this World Cup than the previous one. I think before even the group stages were over, there were more penalties awarded than I had in the whole of the last tournament.
But the players just been dirtier.
I think officials are just are given more freedom to actually just award them.
For the listeners at home, player 2, me, doesn't like football.
Philistine.
I'm allowed to not like things, you know.
Yes, you are. You are allowed to not like things. However, listeners, you are yet to hear him voicing his dislike. His boo-hooing, his belittling.
You came up with the keyword.
His high and mightiness, because he does not like football.
He came up with the keyword.
I believe that
Yeah, he did.
no matter how hard I try, because I live my life on the internet, it's almost impossible to avoid the football. The football. And every single time I log onto Twitter, all you see is, it's coming home. Which is based on a song that's like over 10 years old. Come on.
It's coming.
Older than that.
Oh, here we go. Alright, Mr. Historian, here we go.
It's actually...
96, something like that?
Frank Skinner, David Deal. They were the ones who wrote it, comedians. When is it? 2002?
2002.
Oh.
2002 indeed.
Not bad.
Oh, no. I was right. No, wait. No. So there's a song called Three Lions. Is that a different song? Because that's also by David Baddiel and Frank Skinner. Let me see.
I think it's the same song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's what a fact check has provided.
Yep. No.
Yeah, because it's coming home as a chorus.
I am such a great guesser.
It's also the intro.
When is it? 96?
96.
Bloody hell.
It was released in 96, 98, 2002 and 2006. Obviously.
It's released
every 4 years. Actually, no. That's 2. They released it in 96 and then 98, which is only 2 years, which is obviously not a World Cup. Oh, but then they did 2002, 2006.
It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's actually quite a good song.
Oh my god. The only reason why people like it because it's catchy and that's it. Because all they need to do is the chorus is literally 3 words, 4 words.
Oh, people only like that song because it's catchy.
Yeah, he's right, actually, isn't
he? Interesting fact about Frank Skinner is that he, during the whole financial crisis, I think, probably in 2008, at the time, he, because obviously he was quite a rich man, his financial advisors had assured him that if he put all of his money in stocks on, I think it's that bank, is it ING?
IAG.
Mm-hmm.
The orange one with the lion.
Yeah,
ING.
Invested all of his money
AIG.
on stocks, something like that, or on stocks for that.
I thought it was
He'd
Ing.
be fine. I thought it was ING.
According to the internet's favourite source, Wikipedia, he was victim of the credit crunch in the late 2000s after investing in AIG, which is American International Group.
Oh, I
Maybe
see.
it used to be called something else.
But anyway, so he invested in that, lost all of his shit, and they obviously went kaput. He basically went from having millions of pounds to nothing overnight. Which is why you saw him reappear on your TV screens. And it's why he still does Room 101 now.
Yeah.
I think he likes doing it, though. I'm sure he has fun just having a lot of...
Yeah, but
he also doesn't want to be poor.
Yeah. I mean, he'll have a life to maintain, won't he? But like every time there's a football competition, England is in it, he'll get money from that song.
Oh, he's probably swimming in royalties right now, especially because of how well England have been doing. I mean, as far as I'm aware, from when I was talking to some of the people, they were like, yeah, it's the first time England have won a penalty shootout in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't know if that's true because I don't care enough to check. I mean, when it just comes to football. It's just 22 men on a football field, just like, oh, we kicked the ball. Great.
Oh, for goodness sake, it's absolute... It's a team sport, it's a sport, it's a game. Men like figuring out games, women like figuring out games. It is entertaining. There is a set of rules, skill,
Tactics.
There's an objective, there's a winner, the loser. Sometimes nobody wins or loses. It's a draw.
What you're describing there is sport.
Exactly, sport. Loads of people like sport.
Loads of people do enjoy sports.
Loads of people.
I'm not saying I don't enjoy sports. I just think football's the most mundane, boring one.
No,
there are plenty more.
I think football is one of the most enjoyable because of the crowds. Like, the atmosphere you get in football games is much more kind of, I don't know, it's just much more sort of engrossed than other sports. Like if you're watching golf,
as you do,
you know, is it really an exciting game? Oh, he's got a hole in one. They go, ooh. Whereas if somebody scores a goal in football, they go nuts.
Golf isn't really a spectator sport, though, is it? Like, you're stuck in one place as an audience.
True.
Or a crowd, and then you
ball,
sort of see a ball in
really
the air.
far away. What can you see? Oh, there it
but
goes.
even with other like just more like a team-based sport, football is definitely not the most passionate crowds.
I've wondered how they get a chant going.
One of the issues I have with football, it's got so many posers and fakers in it as well. Like, I remember seeing something about some guy who got like tapped on the head or something. He's like, oh, he's rolling around on the floor. Oh no, holding his leg.
Yeah, that was Neymar. That was Neymar. And he's a and he's got knocked out in the World Cup.
Indeed.
And also, I will be watching the England game tomorrow.
Indeed, Sweden. England.
Yes. I think 2-0 Sweden because I'm a pessimist.
You like to be surprised.
Yeah. I'm preparing for the worst, and I will be pleasantly surprised. Or just proven right.
Are you willing to put a bet on it?
I never bet.
It's a slippery slope.
I see the point in it. Like it's been betting, so many people just it's an addictive thing. And so it's like people go bankrupt over it.
I mean, I overheard someone today say they put £1 on an accumulator and they got like $4,000 out of it.
Yeah, but how many times have they put £1 in?
I mean, big
probably
$4,000
worth.
which is what. Well, there's this study that said gamblers prefer losing than winning. They get more thrill from losing, and that's what keeps them coming back. Yeah.
More thrill?
Yeah.
Is it more thrill from nearly winning rather than from losing?
Yeah. I think betting's for people who don't understand probability. Same as the lottery.
apparently, if people that have suffered concussion are more likely to gamble.
Oh.
Not just necessarily in betting, but like in life situations as well. Apparently, they're more willing to take risk if you've been concussed.
But that's not down to injury, is it? It's not like is it
to
your
do-
brain?
It's
Or
to
is
do
it
with
more-
your brain being rattled around and you're not thinking clearly.
But surely it depends what part of your brain, because it's all very...
but if your brain's being rattled around, it's all going to be damaged.
That's a good point. I don't know if it's like a
'Cause you
localised
You
injury.
can't.
Or
if
just a
it's
general...
localised injury,
It's just
it's
a
gonna be
general...
there's going to be a dent in your head.
Yeah, that's a good point. If there's a dent, it hits your head, and then it bounces off the opposite wall.
Yeah, your brain's just
Doesn't it?
rattling inside it, so the whole thing's getting damaged.
You know, you could put probably a spike through your head and you'd be alright.
Yeah,
You
this
don't
one
need a
way-
lot of your brain. I mean, it's a
Doctor
famous
Strange.
psychological study. Well, it wasn't a study, it was just for the time. I think he was a railroad worker.
Yes, I've seen this.
Oh, yeah.
My other half told me about it, because, well, she likes to tell me random stuff like that.
He was called Phineas Gage. Oh my god. Phineas Gage? Good
yeah,
grief. Have you
Phineas
seen
Gage.
what he had happen to him?
Yeah, it's a really big. Just tells you what. I typed in Phineas into Google, Phineas and Ferb, or
Oh my
Phineas,
God.
the guy who went around the world in 80 days. What was he called?
Oh my
Phineas Fogg.
gosh. That is no small...
Oh yeah, it's went.
That's
Yeah,
Spike.
quite a... It's probably like a... Would you say that's like what? 2-inch diameter bar?
now
It's gone through his head. Yeah, about a 2-inch
player
diameter
one,
bar.
please. We are British. We use the metric system.
It's interesting, because it says Gage in his name.
Well, gauge don't
That's
go
almost-
that. Gauge don't go that big usually, but it is tracked, so maybe.
Was it... Is that what it was? Track?
Yeah, he was a railroad worker.
Oh, it was a 1.25 inch diameter,
Oh.
3.2 centimetres.
Oh my
Went
god.
straight through his head from
Jaw to like
kind of, he had his
centre
mouth
of skull.
open, so it went like up,
Oh.
like under his left cheek, straight up through his head, and he's alive.
He lost an eye though, right?
Oh yeah, but it could have been
Wasn't-
way worse.
Wasn't he like really like he was quite nice before it happened, and he was really
Oh yeah,
angry
it
afterwards?
damaged. Basically, he wasn't the same person anymore, and that's why it's like if you study psychology, it's one of the main things that you taught. Like when you're
right.
learning about the brain, like
Did they ever take it out? Yeah, they
The
must
bar?
have.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he took it out.
How did they do that
Just pulled it.
without it like hemorrhaging?
Magic sponge.
He had damage to the frontal lobe, but he had behavioural changes.
Yeah, it says fitful, irreverent, and grossly profane. So, and then it says opposite of previous personality. That's very
Oh.
And apparently the prefrontal cortex does planning, moral judgment, and emotional control. So that sort of explains that, doesn't it?
Just looking at the
Goodness
Wikipedia
me.
article, there's a band called Phineas Gage. Why are they called that? Is it
And
really hits?
he's of the era of, oh, what am I trying to say? Freak shows, that's it.
Yeah.
Like he was an attraction, a worldwide attraction.
Let's see.
Meet the man who had
Rather,
a pole
rather grotesque.
through his brain.
I'm guessing this band's from Brighton because they've got an album called Brighton Rock.
Or no. Yeah, but there's a song called Brighton Rock from Queen, isn't there?
Oh, they are from Brighton.
There's a novel called Brighton Rock. There's a film. I'm pretty sure it's a Queen song as well. So they're probably not. Are they from Brighton?
Yeah, they are from Brighton. I just checked.
Oh,
Awkward.
you are right.
I am.
There is a song called Brighton Rock, I think.
It
Should
was
have
in
known
that.
that.
Wasn't it in that film, Baby Driver? When,
Oh yeah,
have you guys seen Brighton Rock?
Baby Driver. Yeah.
Really good film.
I have not.
Unfortunately,
it's so good.
Kevin Spacey, right?
Right. I don't care.
Fair enough.
He was a good actor. I don't care.
That's a good point, because he's a character. You don't really care what happens to the person who portrays it.
It's not. It's a good film, regardless of what Kevin Spacey did.
Yeah.
I'm still going to watch his other films that he did. I don't care.
The thing is, I don't really watch many films. I like child-friendly films because I'm
I'd say Baby Driver is. You can't really pin it to one genre. It's like lots of everything. It's a bit like a musical. It's a crime. It's a thriller. It's a comedy. It's a romance. So it's really good. You have to watch it.
I'm not a fan of films like that though.
No, but you liked. Did you like Shaun of the Dead?
It was all right. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of the whole Cornetto trilogy.
Oh my god!
I feel like I've just sworn at you.
I put my hand to my mouth in exclamation.
Like
I
one
liked
of them.
The first two.
Okay, I really liked. What's the one in the little town?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. That one I kind of liked a lot. But the other, like, was it at World's End? That was one of them, wasn't
rubbish. Absolute dire. Shaun of the Dead.
The story of
of
just the story for that at World's End was just so creepy and crazy. Like,
the director of Hot Fuzz was the director of Baby Driver.
Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
So
that sounds right.
that's about right. Let's see what you did there. Really good film. Going back to the whole Kevin Spacey thing, though, if you look into everybody's life, everybody will have done something awful.
Yeah.
And if they're famous enough, it will make news. And does that mean that will basically mean that you can never enjoy anything because somebody involved does something? Like, if you saw the car you're driving, if you saw every person who's involved in making that car, guarantee one of them's done something horrific. But because you don't know about it, you're completely ignorant to it.
They might have drawn something on the chassis.
The gentleman who stitched these seats together watched child porn, something like that. You would never know.
Gosh, you're right. But I think our legal systems is supposed to draw the line of what's acceptable and what isn't.
Good point. But so most clothing is manufactured abroad, and like you got the infamous child factories,
sweatshops,
Asia and Africa, sweatshops. So that's kind of, like the people who run that still wear their people don't give a shit, still wear clothes, don't they?
It's got to make enough of an impact for people to care for it to become a law.
It's got to be. No, it's for people to care. It's got to for them to like exclude it from their lives. It's got to have the least amount of impact on their life.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it is. Oh, I don't have to watch. All I have to do is just not watch his film to show I don't care about that. Oh, sorry, to show that I'm appalled at what he's done. Oh, I will never watch a Kevin Spacey film ever again. And you go, and then it'll be something like, let me think. Well, yeah, the whole clothing thing, or like, or cruelty to animals for like cosmetics and stuff like that. People don't like. Oh, I don't agree with it, but they're still going to buy it because it's
convenient.
A huge change to their life. Exactly. Yeah, it's too inconvenient to show you don't like it. Which it just kind of shows how fickle some people are. They're a bra waving in the air, PC, fucking equal rights warrior, Greenpeace motherfucker when it's convenient, really.
There's what people say and there's what people do.
Exactly. It's like they only do what's easy. And then you get the absolute morons who are actually trying, the whole self-sustaining, they live in a flipping treehouse somewhere and they have to reclaim their own urine and water, all this rubbish. And they're malnourished. They've not had a wash in days. They've not had a good meal. They've probably got some illness because they don't have vaccinations. And you just don't survive.
They're like our carbon offset, almost. I'll get out.
They're just the ones that escape.
Probably because it's too expensive. Yeah. If we're expecting a lot, if they do.
Right, is it, guys? I've got a question.
Go on.
What would you say is your most favourite TV show at the moment?
Well, that's currently ongoing. Yeah, I guess so.
Just like at the moment.
I've got a few shows I really like that are on hiatus at the moment, but
no. Like if right now you're going to watch something, what would you watch?
an old classic for me is always going to be Parks and Rec because I can just watch it.
Oh right, okay.
And Friends.
I'm rewatching Rick and Morty at the moment.
Good show. I've not really gone back to watch them though because it seems like I know people watch them over and over again, but it's not the sort of show it's not the sort of thing I tend to do.
There's a lot in it though. Like there's a lot you can miss.
Yeah, you can always think about stuff they're already setting up, like Evil Morty, and that was a thing in the last season.
It's been a thing throughout the whole.
Yeah, of course it has. But they were basically trying to set up even further because we were supposed to get more answers, but we're not going to get any more answers now till season 4.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Friends.
Yes, Friends, of course, Friends.
Quite dated though. Some of the humour.
Always
relevant.
Of
course it is.
On the internet, it's always relevant.
I think because it's classic, it's all right.
Yeah,
it's linking into what you were saying before. Like, if one of the Friends actors then suddenly becomes like a massive paedophile or something, it's not going to affect my enjoyment of the show.
Throwback.
Exactly.
Ding 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 ding.
But what they use for laughs though. Because it's like
there's a lot of forced humour.
Yeah.
No. There's like homophobic jokes. There's like sexist jokes.
Some people look past that though, and by some, probably a lot.
I mean, I don't give a shit. I still enjoy it. But I think that's a problem with comedy because it has to be for the time. You can never get in comedy. Like there is comedy which is timeless and like isn't offensive at all. But you cannot really make it.
Or it's so offensive, it's always relevant.
Yes. Either or. Opposite, very polar.
Like toilet humour, always relevant.
Yeah.
They'll never not
I
be a
am
time.
number 2. I am player 2.
Yeah, because he's full of shit. That's why he's player 2.
Well, we've all got P in on it. P1, P2, P3, you know.
Player 1's double P.
Cheers, thank you.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I was going to say
ridiculous.
my show's QI at the moment.
Oh, QI's class.
Do you know what? I've not watched QI for over a year.
Do you not like Sandy?
No, I like Sandy.
I
I like her. I think she's a perfectly good host. I still like the show, but I just haven't watched it. Like I just haven't really gone, oh yeah, I'm going to watch it.
It's like the thing I fall asleep to, which doesn't sound like a good thing, but it's like I just love it so much. And I'm so well acquainted with the episodes. Like
I don't like to fall asleep to watching stuff.
The only thing I don't do it for is movies. Shall I generate a new list?
Was there not more on that list?
Well, it was wound.
What was triangle?
Wound and triangle.
Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, triangle. Yeah, Bermuda Triangle.
Again,
has anyone got any interesting facts other than we know nothing about
They
it?
said it was to do with magnetic field lines. That's the popular theory that's going around.
Magnetic field lines.
That's why it
Why
messes
would they
with
be
navigation.
But why would it be a triangle?
Oh no, the triangle's just the zone that it's between. It's only in that zone. But the field lines sort of operate around that area. I don't think it's strictly defined.
But what would cause it?
That's what I thought. What is it, a massive iron ball? You know, what's going to cause...
Maybe it was an alien spaceship.
Like, I can understand why people might say it's a triangle. Because if you have 3 spheres, 3 circles, and you join them all at a tangent to each other, you'll end up with like a sort of triangle shape in the middle. How much do you actually know about Harry Potter?
He was from Stoke, because that's where the Potters are from. He was outside in a thunderstorm with an umbrella. And then he got a scar on his head because of it.
Was it a triangular-shaped scar?
It was a lightning bolt-shaped scar because it was a thunderstorm. Duh.
Wow. But we know what happens when lightning strikes people's skin. It creates a lovely pattern like a tree, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like how a tree grows, like the branches of a tree.
So he wasn't struck by lightning?
No, it was magic.
No.
Was that sarcastic enough?
Like you can recreate this. It's like it branches out so much. Like if you pass current through like a perspex block, something like high current, high voltage thing, you'll end up with like this. You'll end up with like a pattern that is replicated on people's skin when they're struck by lightning. Because it's obviously lightning's usually forked, isn't it? It's like, but
I suppose it's just because like electricity.
Well, that's how we
unless
see
it's
it.
channeled, it just fucking arcs all around the place.
It's called a Lichtenberg figure,
what was
guys.
I read about flipping thunderstorms? Apparently, when it's like really something about antimatter. Oh, what the hell was it? Did you guys read it? It was something like.
I think this is out of our pay grade.
You're more qualified than me.
I'm sorry, what?
Both of you are.
We don't have lives.
Right.
Cheers,
Something
Fire
about- I think when there's a really powerful thunderstorm generated. Something along the line. I've completely murdered all the key points of that.
Yeah, it sounded
It's just
really concise.
Thunder and lightning
Very, very frightening.
and antimatter. Google that.
Thunder, lightning, very, very frightening.
Fill it out. I've given you literally like a toothpick of a bone. Fill it out, flesh it, put some skin on it. We'll make a story out of this.
Can I just say, Lichtenberg figures is the effect of the electrical treeing that it's called.
Treeing?
It's like, is that a verb?
Sick.
Tree?
Is it a doing word? Or is it a descriptive
Well,
word?
it's an electrical treeing. I don't know. What does that mean? Electricity creates a tree.
Which is the branching out, isn't it?
Lichtenberg figure. Very pretty.
Lichtenberg.
It actually looks a bit like a fern.
Cotton? How do you spell Lichtenberg?
Lichten, and then berg, as in iceberg dead ahead.
Antimatter. You said recently, 2011, but
No.
In the scheme of science,
it's
pretty
pretty
recent.
science, yeah.
considering most of our discoveries were made 400 years ago.
Basically, as far as I can tell, what happens when thunderstorms happen, a burst of gamma rays get released, and they reckon, the gamma ray flash, whatever they want to call it, and they think it's because obviously when antimatter particle meets a regular matter particle. I really hate science alert is so bad,
Is it?
especially for clickbait.
Oh, the whole internet's bad for.
IFLS, they've gone super clickbait and it annoys me.
Yeah.
I've even seen the BBC do it.
Yeah, they do. Do you know what? Also,
Psychology.
have you guys seen Anchorman 2?
Mm-hmm.
I have, yes.
You know, when Ron Burgundy's they're basically taking the piss out of news because he's just trying to make a channel to just get views, and he's like, "Oh, we'll put a
police
live
chase.
feed from a police chase." And that's not news. And then he's like,
Oh my
we'll
God.
Just show people what they want to see. So look at this cute dog. And I was watching ITV news, and they have literally at the end of their shows they've started showing cute clips off the internet on ITV news, and it's like, what the hell? It's like, that is not news. That is not informing anyone. And actually, I remember now.
It's to bring positivity.
You know this whole in the UK, they've been bringing
In the ook.
this upskirting laws.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're found to be taking an unauthorised picture of someone's skirt, you could go to prison for it. They're trying to bring this into law.
Yeah.
So they were trying to bring this in on a Friday session. There was 10 people in,
Yeah.
and this backbencher, he said no to it, and that's enough for it to be reviewed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody went mad. it went, I can't believe he doesn't agree with this, and blah, blah, blah. All the news went ballistic. And the only news site which actually put his side of the story, and even then it was only very small. Well, I should actually put this disclaimer. The only one I read, because obviously I've not read every single news.
Was the only one that came up quickly?
Was BBC. They put like this little segment about him.
Well, the thing is, it was a very small segment that they said that because he got his side of the story, obviously, but they made it seem like such a. Like, I understood why he did what he did.
So why did he do what he did then?
Well, he basically said it should have been debated.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what he said. He says every law
So that
should
was
be
his
debated. Basically, that's what he
justification.
thinks. He said every law should be debated.
He's been doing it for the last 20 years. Exactly the same thing. Because he's there, because on a Friday session when there's not many people in and they all want to go home, they're just going to go, yeah, just pass everything through so we can f*** off. That's like, and there's that law, you could go to prison for it. Now, for what the crime is, yeah, you should go to prison for it. However, there'll be technicalities on what is an upskirting picture, isn't there? So like if you just take, like, I don't know, if you're taking a picture of, I don't know, your wife, and in the background there's someone sat in a chair, and it's just, like, I don't know, 50 metres away, and it so happens that they've got their legs ajar or some shit, and you're looking up the skirt. Is that an upskirt photo that you?
I feel like the intent would have to be malicious.
Well, this is the thing. It wasn't really looked at because they just kind of drafted it and tried to pass it through, didn't they?
Like it's a law that needs to be written. Like, what was the other law that was recently just suggested? Like, to ban conversion therapy, and they're making it sound like a really good thing. I thought it was banned years ago.
Well, there's things that you obviously should be. I mean, obviously, it should be illegal to take an upskirt picture, and obviously, if you are doing it, you should go to prison, like, because it's horrible. It's such an invasion of privacy, and it's sexual assault.
Yeah.
But you've really got to be careful with people going to prison. What the definitions are.
Well, this just reminds me of the whole Count Dankula thing.
What? Count Dankula?
So this guy, for a joke, taught his girlfriend's pug to do the basically anytime he said like he basically got him to do the Nazi salute or like put his paw up or whatever when he said a certain phrase.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be for comedy, and you could sort of understand that it must have been really funny for him.
Yeah.
Basically, he went into court. He was found guilty of inciting hatred or something like that because apparently the intent, like the context, does not matter. According to this judge, who said he basically came back as guilty. There was massive outrage on the internet, and instead of sending him to jail, which they could have, they just gave him an £800 fine, because I know if they sent him to jail, it'd been a massive uproar. But he was still found guilty of a crime that he shouldn't have been.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's silly, really. It's kind of like it's in jest, but it is a huge thing, and people do get quite emotive about it because I think it's only because it was so long ago you can really laugh about it.
Yeah.
But for anyone involved,
I mean, I'm not saying it was in good taste. I'm just saying that the context around it didn't incite hatred in any way whatsoever.
Many blurred lines with.
It's just one of them things that just gets my goat. Like,
get your goat.
Gets my goat. And it's just like now the UK have basically passed. Basically, this guy's been found guilty regardless of the context. It's like case law. What's that going to open up for other people getting sent to jail for saying a joke or stuff like that?
Very true.
Because obviously most of the UK works basically by case law, especially in lower courts.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, this happened then, so it's not going to happen now.
If someone right, here we go. If you're in the street and someone you didn't know came up to you and started acting friendly, would you be suspicious?
Yeah.
I would.
I think especially in Britain, yeah. It just
I'd
feels
be
like
this person is either trying to scam me, rob me, or they're just not all there in their head.
The fact that he or she is not looking at their phone constantly, I'd be wary about.
aware of their surroundings. They are dangerous. They are.
If they look both ways before crossing, I'd be terrified.
It's yeah. I mean, yeah. It's strange, isn't it? Because if someone was just being friendly, just going, obviously you got the friendly hello or greeting in the street. That's like fine. But certain parts of the UK that don't happen. I'll say down in the south of England, you don't really get many greetings.
Really?
Well, I'm sure you've been on the tube at some point.
Yeah, I've on the tube. Saying good morning on the tube. Good luck.
If it's someone you've seen on a journey before, and you keep encountering them, yeah.
I'm not on about if you know them.
Yeah.
Like, if you just walk past a random person on the street, you say hello.
No, it's still random in the context I'm saying. I mean, like, you see them maybe every morning for...
Nah, but that's different to a stranger, because you know them.
So someone you've never seen before, yeah.
This familiarity, like literally, you've walked past someone you've never seen before.
And you have no talking point.
If you're the further north you are in England, the more likely you are to get a greeting. 100%.
Fair enough.
Certain places in the UK,
Not in my
guaranteed,
house.
every person you walk past, you'll get a greeting from.
Small villages, especially small villages, do tend to have that
it's
sort
just
of.
like polite. Like in Uxbridge, I always found before 11 a.m, if you walk past someone, they're more likely to say hello. After 11 a.m, no chance. They will never give you a greeting.
How long before 11 a.m? Because when I was walking at 3...
True, very true.
A woman walked...
When I was walking at 3 a.m.
The complete wrong route where I was. We were sort of, 10 steps behind.
Yeah.
And she went down, like, the lit way, and I felt obliged to go down the completely dark route.
Oh, right.
So you don't want to seem like a creep.
Because she kept looking behind her back, and she was she thought I was following her. I was just going home, and so I went, I'll just go the way that she's not, basically, even if it is more perilous.
Oh, I see. So you're being a gentleman.
Well,
despite her thinking you weren't a gentleman.
I just wanted her to stop being panicked, and that's the only way I knew how.
You are a lovely lad.
See, now, even if he was being friendly and went up to said hello, that would have made things even worse.
She would have been terrified, I reckon.
Have you ever seen videos of farmers when they're ratting?
No. Funnily enough.
It's really, really weird. But it's fascinating just watching dogs rat a terrier ratting. It's so fascinating.
Because they were bred to do that, right?
Yeah.
To do with dogs, I don't know much about ratting, but to do with dogs versus cats, apparently the owners of dogs are their personalities are more associated with one or the other. So for people who, are social, sort of outgoing, they'll have a dog.
Right.
And I think other personality traits as well. But for having a cat, it's like you're more sort of introverted almost, and your curiosity is also different based on both. Or just love. Oh yeah, that's the quote. So a dog, when they get loads of attention, they'll think everyone else is the god. But a cat, when they get all the attention, they think they're the god, and that's why they or the owner of the house, that's why they can leave as they please. And
believe me, my cat does not think he's a god. We would like to thank you for listening to this shambles of a podcast.
Wonderful.
We'll hope you tune in next time. And once again, I've been Player 2.
I've been Player 1.
And I've been Player 3.
We hope to see you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.